Today we are going to start polynomial, but before that we have completed chapter number 14, that is statistics, in which I have explained you about the mean, median, mode. Mean all three methods, then mode also and median also, and even I have explained you about how to find out the missing frequency of mean and median. And even empirical formula and the opposite, that is less than and more than curve, where it intersects and fall in the line of x-axis becomes median. That part you have been knowing. Now this polynomial, chapter number 2. It is one of the important chapter. This chapter concept we have already studied in 9. It is related to that, little bit of that. Now what is polynomial? The word polynomial itself gives us the meaning. Poly, that is many, and nomial means term. Means polynomial is a chain of term. We can define polynomial as a change of term. Now what is term? Means after adding lots many of terms, it becomes polynomial. What is a term? The term is an algebraic expression that combine with the coefficients and the variables. The term is an algebraic expression consists of coefficient and term. For example, if suppose we take 2x, we are taking it as 2x. So this 2 is a numeral part, and this x is a variable. So you should know that this numeral will also be known as the coefficient, means the number part, and the x is be known as a variable. Variable can be any of English alphabet from A to Z. It can be in any part. So polynomial, now we can say that polynomial means change of term. Another example I can give you. 3x square 3x plus 2. A term is always comprises of a coefficient and a variable. So you can see over here 3x square is a term, 3x is a term, and 2 is also a term. Now you can ask me a question that I told that how 2 is a term. I can give you the description of that thing. This 2 can be written in the form of 2 into x to the power 0. Here you can see its power is 2. Here the power is 1, but we can make the power 0. Anything that having a power of 0, it becomes 1. So we can derive that 2x to the power 0 becomes 2. So it is a polynomial. Now there are classifications of polynomial on the basis of terms and the degree. That you should also know that thing. I am giving them short descriptions that on the basis of term and on the basis of degree, this polynomial has been classified. It has been classified in the form of terms and degree. Now, in terms of terms, first is monomial, second is binomial, and trinomial. Now, what is monomial? Monomial means a polynomial consists of only single term. A A polynomial that has only single term is been known as monomial. Single term. Example, we can take it as 2x, 3y, 4z. You can see over here it is a single term, so it becomes monomial. Okay, means mono means single and term. Now binomial means a polynomial that consists two terms that are having two terms. For example, 2x plus 2, 3y plus 4. Now you can see over here 1, 2, 1, 2. So there are more than two terms. So any one polynomial having two terms are known as binomial. Bio is two terms. Now about the trinomial. What is a trinomial? The polynomial that consists three terms. Three terms polynomial is known as trinomial. Tri itself means three. Tricolor, three color, like that. Triangle, three angles means tri means three. So it can be in the form of 2x square, 2x plus 2, 3y square plus 3y plus 3. So clearly you can see here it is first, second and third term. First, second and third term. So it becomes an trinomial. Trinomial means having three terms. Hope you have understood. Again I am making a revision of this thing. Monomial means having a single term. Binomial having two terms. And trinomial having three terms. These things you have learned in standard 9. But a short revision should be over there. Right? Now, according to the degree part, polynomial has been classified into linear, quadratic and cubic. Now, what is linear? A linear polynomial is having a power or a degree of 1. Any polynomial that has a degree of 1 is being known as linear polynomial. Power will be 1 like 3x plus 2. Here you can see the power is 1. The polynomial that comprises of degree 1 or power 1 is being known as linear. Another is quadratic. Quadratic means a polynomial that having a power of 2. Any polynomial that having a power of 2 can be known as quadratic. Like 3x square, 2x plus 2. Now here we can see that a polynomial having a power of 2 is being known as quadratic polynomial. Now comes about the cubic. What does cubic mean? Itself saying cubic means a polynomial that is having 3 degree, is having a power of 3. The highest degree will be 3. 3x cubed, 3x square, 3x plus 3. Here we can see over here that a polynomial having a power of 3 is being known as cubic. So a short revision. What is a polynomial? Polynomial comprises of change of term. Now what is a term? And term is an algebraic expression comprises of coefficient or numeral and variable. Variable can be of any English alphabet from A to Z. So it is been over here. Now polynomial has been classified on the basis of terms and degree. A polynomial having a single term is been known as monomial. A polynomial having two terms is known as binomial, and a polynomial having three terms is known as trinomial. Now about the degree or the power, we can also say as a power. So a polynomial having one power will be known as linear. A polynomial having two power will be known as quadratic, and a polynomial having three power is known as cubic. But a polynomial having more than 3 power, that is power of 4, that is being known as biquadratic polynomial. But this is not in your syllabus part, but you should know a polynomial having a degree of 4 is known as biquadratic. Hope you have understood these things. Now related to this, I am going to explain you about the terms part. Okay, this was in polynomial introductions. Now students, now we are starting with our chapter. In this chapter, we will read about the linear polynomial and quadratic polynomial zeros. Zeros mean the answers which we used to take out by the factorization part is being known as the zeros. You can clearly see over here the zeros of a linear polynomial. Linear is having a power 1. So it can be written ax plus b can be written as this b when goes right hand side. If it goes right hand side at ax plus b equals to 0, then ax equals to minus b. Therefore x will be minus b by a. Minus b by a. And already I have discussed you that in ax plus b, this one b is a constant term. B is a constant term, whereas coefficient a is a coefficient of x. Coefficient I have already told you that it is with a variable part. Coefficient of a. So its formula is minus b upon a, that will be minus constant term upon coefficient of x. I am giving an example. Suppose 3x plus 6 equals to 0. What will be the 0 of this linear one? 3x equals to minus 6. X equals to minus 6 divided by 3, it will be minus 2. Students, you should always remember zeros will always be according to its power. Now you can see over here the highest degree is 1, so you will get the 0, 1. If you have quadratic equations form, suppose 2, you will get 2 zeros. If you have cubic, then you will get 3 zeros. According to the power or degree, you will get the number of zeros on that part. So it is about the linear polynomial. Now I am going to explain you about the quadratic. Zeros of the quadratic polynomial, that is ax square. It is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. So here we will get 2 zeros. I told you that you will get 2 zeros. So one will be the sum and another will be the product. Sum of the zeros, its formula is minus b by a, that is minus coefficient of x. x के साथ में जो भी नंबर है वो माइनस के फॉर्म में, and product of the zeros, that will be c by a. I told you c is a constant term where a is the coefficient of x square. You can place over here curly bracket. Now, if suppose I give an example, 3x square plus 5x minus 2. Suppose this is a quadratic polynomial. So what will be sum of the zeros? The sum will be minus b by a. Here you can see the value of b is 5, but sign is minus 5 upon 3, because you can see over here b's value x is xn, so b will be 5, but the sign is over here is minus, so therefore minus, and a value is 3, so therefore the sum of the zeros will be minus 5 by 3, and product will be product of the zeros whose formula is c by a. Now here you can see what is the value of c with the sign minus 2. So we can get the answer minus 2, and value of a is over here. You can see value of a is 3. So product of the zeros will be minus 2 upon 3. So again I am repeating, sum of the zeros, that is minus b by a, and product of the zeros will be c by a in case of quadratic. But in case of linear, it is in the form of suppose ax plus b, so x will be minus b upon a. I have written down the formulas part over here. According to this, we will do the sums further. Okay. Now, students, you will be given a graph questions in the examinations. It is an MCQ part or it is a 1 mark questions. You have to just see the graph and tell how many number of zeros does it intersect in the x-axis. X-axis, that is a straight line. We already know that a graph has been divided into 4 parts. The first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. And this one is known as horizontal line is known as x-axis and the vertical line is being known as the y-axis. So you will be given a question, the curve has been made up, and according to that curve, how many times it touches the x-axis will be the number of zeros. The question is being, this is example number 1 of exercise chapter number 2 of example number 1 of standard 10. Look at the graph below. Each is the graph of y. We consider y equals to px, where px is a polynomial. Find the number of zeros of px. We have to always find out the number of zeros of px. How many times does it intersect the x-axis will be the number of zeros. If it doesn't intersect the x-axis, the number of zeros will be 0. Now I am showing you here. These are the 6 graphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 graphs are being shown to you and you have to just find out. It is the simplest question. Just seeing the number times it intersects the x-axis. Now here you can see this is the x-axis. So how many times does it intersect over here? You can see we doesn't have to see this line. We have to see this line, the x-axis. So how many times it does intersect? 1. So the number of 0 will be 1 as it intersects the x-axis 1 time. यहाँ पर देखिए, यहाँ पर कितनी बार intersect किया है x-axis? एक बार. This is 1. Now you can see over here. This x-axis it is over here 1 time and it is over here 2 times. So the number of zeros will be 2. The number of zeros will be 2 because it intersects 2 places. Now here we see over here this line. It is over here 1, it is over here 2, it is over here 3. The number of zeros will be 3. In the third diagram, number of zeros will be 3 because it intersects 3 places. Now over here, in the diagram number 4, you can clearly see where this line intersects the x-axis, it only intersects at a point 1. The number of zeros will be 1 because it intersects the y-axis, but we don't have to see the y part. We have to see only the x line, this straight line. So where it intersects here only, but it is a 1 answer. Now in this question, this graph, you can see over here, this is x dash, y dash means the negative part. Now where it does intersect? It intersects here only at 1 point. So it will also the number of zeros over here in graph number 5 will be 1. And now in question number 6, this diagram, you can see over here, it is intersect over here as 1, then 2, then 3 and 4. At 4 places, this graph intersects the x-axis. So answer will be 4. Hope you have understood this topic. Means you have to see the graph and after seeing the graph, you have to pick up where in the x-axis does it intersect. It is over here 1 place. You can see I am just pointing out 1 place, so it will be 1. Here 2 place, so it will be 2. Here it is 3 place, it will be 3. Here you see it is intersecting at only 1 place, it is 1. Here it is intersecting at the 1 place, it is 1. But here 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer will be 4. So this type of questions comes in examinations. So you have to see the x-axis line and where it intersects will be the number of zeros. Hope you have understood the topic clearly. Okay. Thank you everyone. Now students, I am going to discuss you about the relationships of the zeros and its coefficient. This is one of the most important topic. This type of sums in examinations is always comes. So you have to show the relationship, whatever we have got the answers. I have already discussed you the formula that sum of the zeros will be minus b by a and product of the zeros will be c by a. So how can we know that whatever the answers we are getting is exactly the same or not? So I am showing you an example over here. It is example number 2 of chapter number 2. Find the zeros of the polynomial x square plus 7x plus 10 and verify the relationship of the zeros and its coefficient. I am solving it in front of you so that you can get it clear. Now you can see over here the solution that we have x x square plus 7x plus 10 means quadratic polynomial is always in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So here we get the value of a as 1, value of b will be 7 and value of c is 10. You can clearly see over here, just we are comprising the thing. We got it. Now what we will do? We will just factorize the thing. We will factorize the thing. I am factorizing this equation x square 7x plus 10 to get a 0. X square plus 5x plus 2x plus 10 means 5 plus 2, 7, 5 into 2, 10. Middle term is getting nothing. I am taking out common x plus 5. In these two terms, x is common. The sign of plus is over here. In these two terms, 2 is common. So x plus 5. X plus 5 is same. So we will take down x plus 5 and x plus 2. So this was the factors of this term, polynomial. Now the zeros, therefore x equals to this 5 and it goes to right hand side, it will be minus 5. And this 2, if it goes to the right hand side, it will be minus 2. So these are the two zeros of the polynomial. I have already told you where you will see the power, that will be the number of zeros. It is 2, so we got the 2 answer. Now how to verify that thing? So we consider A alpha equals to minus 5 and beta equals to minus 2. Means sum. We have to take a sum. It's alpha plus beta and product alpha into beta. This is the technique. We are taking alpha and beta. Now we know that sum that is alpha plus beta. So what we have got a value over here? The alpha is minus 5 plus beta is minus 2. So we got minus 5 and minus 2 minus 7. Now as per the quadratic polynomial, we know that the formula of sum, we already know that formula of sum is minus b by a. So here we see what is the value of b over here? Positive, but the sign is over here is minus. It will be minus 7 and a is 1. So it will be minus 7. Now you can clearly see over here that we got the verifications part, both part. What we have got the answers, the zeros, when we added down, we got minus 7, and when we apply the formula, we got minus b by a, that is minus 7 upon 1, it will be minus 7. Same over here, in case of product that is alpha into beta. So what is alpha over here? Minus 5. When minus 5 multiplied with minus 2, minus will be always plus. 5 to the 10. So we got the answer 10. Again we are seeing the formula of that one. The product means c by a. Product is alpha into beta. It will be c by a. Now you can see over here, what is the value of c? It is over here 10. So 10 upon a value is 1. So you can see it is coming up 10. Now we can again compromise. When we compare, we are getting the same answer. If we multiply the zeros, we are getting 10. When we apply the formula, we are getting c upon a, that is 10. So it is being verified. This is the verification part. This part and this part is the verification part, and we have verified it that after applying the zeros and the formula, that is minus b by a and c by a, we are getting the same answer. Hope you have understood the topic very clearly. Thank you everyone.